In a recent interview with Piers Morgan, freshman Republican Congressman and pathological liar George Santos harnessed the source of the GOP's supervillainy, shamelessness, and made a staggering public confession. Intrigued? Then click that like and subscribe and enjoy the video. Okay, folks, it's been a couple of weeks since we've done a video about freshman Republican Congressman, pathological liar, and carbuncle on the ass of the American legislature, George Santos, which means it's time to do one now. He's been in the news still off and on, basically every other day, because, of course, every other day he does something else that's outrageous and triggers the hell out of people, mostly on the left, but with increasing frequency, members of his own party, particularly those back in his home state of New York. As a reminder, George Santos is the freshman Republican congressman out of Long Island. He flipped a seat that had been previously held by a Democrat, so he was considered hot stuff by the Republican Party, as well as the fact that at the time he was presenting himself as being openly gay, so he would have been the first openly gay Republican congressman in the Republican Party. So for these reasons, the fact that he flipped a seat that was previously held by a Democrat in a blue state, and he's openly gay. This was basically considered like a double win for the Republican Party. They're like, see, look, we yanked one away from the Democratic Party, and this guy is gay, so see how socially progressive we are. Now, since then, he has been an anchor around the credibility of the GOP, not that they had much to begin with, because it turns out he's basically lied about everything. Everything that's ever come out of this man's mouth publicly has been a lie. He lied about his education, where he went to college. He lied about his history of philanthropy. He lied about his business background. He lied about his heritage. He famously said, no, I didn't mean I was Jewish. I meant I was Jew-ish, because apparently he was a practicing Catholic. Catholics, of course, not known for being religious Jews. And he's under investigation by multiple agencies, both at the state, local, and federal level, and in Brazil for potential campaign violations. So this guy is basically, in his own way, the poster boy for the Republican Party. He's corrupt, he's dishonest, and he's kind of brazen about it. He's almost embraced the role. He's, rubbing shoulders and rubbing elbows with Marjorie Taylor Greene and people like that, kind of basking in their protection. He's publicly sparred with Mitt Romney before the State of the Union. He was talking crap about him on Twitter. And even though he promised that he would not be running for a second term, he's actually kind of walking that back, and we'll get to that in a second. But first, I want to play you a clip of an interview that he conducted with conservative-ish, right-leaning moderate Piers Morgan, the British talk show host who was notoriously a big Trump fan and sycophant. Piers Morgan interviewed George Santos, and I want to play this clip because Piers is a tough interviewer, and he asked him several tough questions, but this particular clip was just mind-blowing. So let's take a look.
Did you not think people would find this out?
Piers, not after
You're not running to be like a reality TV star.
No, I understand.
Right? If you were going on Celebrity Apprentice, which I went on, right? It doesn't matter. You can embellish stuff about yourself. Nobody cares, right? But to run for Congress of the United States and to just tell blatant lies about even your academic record, I'm just struck, not necessarily that a politician would lie, but that you would think no one would find out.
Well, I'll humor you this. I ran in 2020 for the same exact seat for Congress, and I got away with it then, and I guess...
Right. Well, that's honest.
Stupid.
So you thought, actually, they're not going to find out?
No, I didn't think so.
Y'all, how about that? I mean, that's probably the closest thing to an honest sentiment that this man has expressed in the past 2 years. I mean, how brazen is that? The fact that he just didn't, the fact that those words left his mouth, knowing that he was talking to an interviewer as tough as Morgan on international television with all the scrutiny in the world on him, and he didn't just collapse. He just didn't disintegrate like Voldemort at the end of Deathly Hallows Part 2. He just didn't fade into the ether. He's harnessing the Republican Party's great superpower. There's so many things that enabled the GOP to have a competitive edge over Democrats, to punch above their weight class, because, of course, Republicans are not popular. Republicans don't have popular policy agendas. Like, when it comes to a fair fight, they would lose every time, which is why they almost always lose the presidency, which is the highest office, right? So what do? Well, they fight dirty, and the source of that power is shamelessness. They have absolutely no internal standards or set of ethics that they, with regularity, observe. Like people like Mitt Romney, who are considered, the ethical Republican, they are the exception. They are not the rule. George Santos is more reflective of the spirit of the modern-day Republican Party, at least on a federal level, in the Senate, in Congress, most Republican governors. He is more typical of the animating spirit of the GOP now in 2023 than Mitt Romney is. And the source of that is shamelessness, right? They just don't care. They're banking on being able to say one thing on Monday and expecting that by Tuesday or Wednesday you will have not remembered that. Or if you do, you're distracted by other things, you won't care because you're too focused on woke M&Ms and woke Legos and stuff like that. That's the real danger. Not pathologically lying members of Congress who wield institutional power. Not QAnon, not conspiracy theorists like Marjorie Taylor Greene, not dangerous sitting chief executives like Donald Trump who have no regard for the peaceful transfer of power. None of that's an issue. Shamelessness animates them all. The real danger, they want you to believe, is culture crap from the left. And they're also banking that your short-term memory will help you forget about it. Like you'll just kind of write George Santos off. Oh, this guy, he tells tall tales and move on. But the fact that he admitted this is insane. This should be the end of his political career. And as a reminder, speaking of which, recent polls show that 78%, like a Newsday Siena College poll, and we covered this in a previous video, 78%, 80% of this man's voters, his constituents in his congressional district, not just national voters, not just Democrats, not just Republican, people who live in the district that he represents in Congress, 80% of them want him to resign. That should be the end of his career. Kevin McCarthy should expel him. He'd get all the votes. I mean, he would get the votes to do it because every Democrat would do it and even a few Republicans. This should be the end of his political career. But it's not because the Republican Party has no principle. They have no limiting principle either. They will pick up whatever tool they possibly can, however rusty, however corroded, however unreliable, if they think it gives them a short-term advantage. And since Kevin McCarthy needs every vote, every Republican ass in a chair that he can possibly get, he's going to keep George Santos around for as long as possible. So anyway, bask in the shamelessness and remember, vote blue in every election, no matter who. Hey you! Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, and I hope that you did, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below. And if you absolutely hated the video, the best revenge for you is also to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. That'll teach me. If you want to share an opinion or share some feedback, go ahead and leave a comment, all right? 2023 is a year of change, hence the aggressive rebrand and commitment to new content. Inspired by my friends Luke Beasley and STV Philly, my personal goal for this channel is to hit 40,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So I'm hoping you'll do me a solid by spreading the word and the videos to potential fans and hate watchers alike. And in the meantime, we'll be pondering politics again with you very soon.